So start by dragging task 9 into BBC Basic. So this task is called the web of colour because it's a little bit like a random spider web. Let's have a look at our end result to start with. So what's happening here is we start by moving to 0, 0 and we draw to random XY coordinates. Then we move to this location and draw to the XY coordinates. That location, draw to the same coordinates. That location, draw to the same coordinates. Then the loop repeats. We start there again and we draw to different coordinates from all four corners and again, so that we get again this random pattern. If we run that random pattern again, then we can see that building up, and it will be different each time we run that. So you're given the first part of the program there, and the first thing we want to do is run that to make sure it's working. So let's press play. So what we're getting here is we've got our repeat loop, just doing it 10 times. We're picking X and Y variables up to 100, a random number up to 100. So we move to 0, 0 and we draw to that XY. We wait, change the value of L so that we can track our loop, come back, pick two different XY variables, and then from 0, 0 we draw to those. Back round the loop, two different ones, back to 0, 0 and draw each of those. So the instructions here then now, first thing is change those random numbers so that X can go as high as 1280 and Y can go as high as 1000. So these are our current values at 100, we need to change those then to 1280 and 1000. Good idea to pause the video now and go and make sure that you've got that and then run your program. So next you're going to move to 1280, 0, so that would be, we just run this program, that would be down here. And then we're going to draw to XY again. So XY hasn't changed, it's just that we're going to draw to that. So let's just make sure that we close the red window each time. Let's go through those few stages then. So we need to change these to 1280 and 1000. Then we're going to move to 1280, 0 and we're going to draw to X and Y. But if you notice, look, we've drawn to X and Y, we've moved to the other corner, X and Y haven't changed. They're still whatever they were until we go back through the loop. So this time then we'll get these different lines. So there's 0, 0, there's our first XY, 1280, 0, drawing back to that XY, and it will do that again. So back in the instructions, next you need to add lines to move to the top right corner and draw to XY, move to the top left corner and draw to XY. Okay. Then we want a new line to generate a random number for C. So we would need to put that in here. So we want a random number for C, and what we can then do is change the graphics colour for each of these lines by using a gcol command. And then finally we're going to change the repeat until loop so that it does 1000 cycles of this, so we'll end up with 4000 lines altogether to make the web.